Welcome to your inner autumn practice. In this video, we're going to look at a few acupressure massage points. I'd like you to think of them as tools you can add to your little yogic toolbox and use at any point in the cycle. But all of these points, singularly or together as a whole, will help with some of the things we may experience over the course of each month. I've put these points in because they relate to the liver meridian line. This is like the governor, if you like, of menstruation. They also relate to us as a woman and all those important organs that we have within the hips and the pelvis, the urinary system and the reproductive system. It relates to back pain, cramps that you may experience when you're premenstrual, menstruating, issues around the pelvic floor, pelvic weakness, bladder weakness, and everything to do with being a woman and things we may experience over the course of our cycle. So I hope you enjoy them and you find them useful. Make note of them and maybe make note to try them out again later in the month as well. So if you're using an oil, you've got a lovely oil from Adele, then please have it handy. You might like to simply put it in the palm of your hand, take a few nice breaths to begin the practice. You can put it on the points and then rub it with the tips of the fingers. Just be careful that you then remove it before you touch your eyes because it may irritate your eyes otherwise. Acupressure massage is a therapeutic practice. It's meant to be calming. You're meant to do it like a quiet place in your house using the breath, and so this will just add to its benefits. You should feel more relaxed by doing this. So let's get started. We're going to begin, hopefully you can see with my little stickers I've dotted around myself. We're going to begin with liver 3, great rushing. You're welcome to just do this on one foot if this is the easiest way to do it. If it's tender, press very gently, or maybe you can reach both feet. And so it's just up from the second toe and the big toe in between the tendons in that nice little dip. So I'm just going to do one side so you can clearly see what I'm doing, but if you can, then reach both. So you're pushing in to that point, you're closing your eyes. This is a really wonderful point to do in your inner autumn. It's wonderful when you're premenstrual. You may even start to feel a heat building as you connect with this liver chi. You might start to circle. If you're just doing one side, make sure you've changed now. Slow breaths in and slow breaths out. Really good. Just a couple more breaths. And I should say it's the source point on the liver meridian line, so it's quite a special point. It's a point where you can really use to fire up the chi within the line, which is why we've done liver 3. Then we're going to move to these next 2 points. These next 2 points, kidney 2, blazing valley, and spleen 4, grandfather, grandson. This is the master point of an extraordinary channel, the belt and the penetrating channels within your body. And so this is getting the energy channels, which aren't always active, around this pelvic area to move. Really important when we're connecting with that part of the body. Blazing valley is in the middle of your arch, and grandfather, grandson is just up from that. So it's near the arch of the foot, but just above and towards the big toe joint. So you could push on one point, you can push on the other, but I think what's nice is to actually make a circle and incorporate these 2 points together. They go beautifully as a pair, they're right closely connected. I'm going to move this, they're just going to come off anyway. You could also rub forward, you know, it's anything to get the tissue moving around these points to connect you with these points. You're welcome to just push the thumb in and breathe. Make sure you do the other side as well if you're not doing both sides. Few nice deep breaths. You can close the eyes as we connect with these master points. Couple more breaths. And then slowly you can release. So we carry on moving up the legs. So we're coming up the yin lines and we meet spleen 6, leg 3 mile. And this is actually where 3 meridian lines cross, the spleen, the liver and the kidney. It's a really important point for women because this is governing our whole pelvic region, the whole region around here. So it's amazing for all things womanly. It's important that you don't press it if you're pregnant because they use this point for inducing labour, so not if you're pregnant, ladies. To find this, you're going to put 4 fingers above your ankle. So we go 4 fingers above the ankle and then underneath that bone, the tibia. So you've got 4 fingers, oh, it's just popped off onto my hand. And where that 4-finger is up underneath the bone. And this can be quite tender, okay? So remember, if it's very tender, light pressure to begin with. So find it on one leg. You might use the middle finger here, pushing into that point. Maybe eventually begin to circle gently on this point. So these soft circular motions can help release physical tensions. Close your eyes. Let's take 5 deep breaths on this side. Really good. And so then when you're ready, you're taking that 5th breath. We move to the other leg. So you'll find your inner ankle. You go 4 fingers up and then underneath the bony part there. And you can rub the finger around a little bit. Remember, it's not an exact thing. It's acupressure massage, it's not acupuncture. So you're rubbing in. Middle finger is probably best. It's a little bit stronger. Closing your eyes, so you choose the pressure. Slow deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Really good. And then when you're ready, you can release that pressure. So we're going to carry on up the body. We're coming into 2 points and they're on either side of the body. So it's a really powerful way to connect with really the part of us really stands us out as a woman, the part which creates life. It creates the whole of our cycle whilst we are cycling. So at the front of the body, if we look at a triangle, if you think about the triangle of your pants or bikini if it's warm summer, then you're looking here. So we've got the bony bits of the hips, so that's a bit high, and then you've got that triangle, if you imagine, from some pants. And it's in this top crease here that we have our spleen 13 rushing door. So you can rub into those points. I find a few fingers can be nice. So we can rub into these points, close your eyes. And so as we come really to this sort of key part of our body, these 2 points I'm going to show you at the front and back of the body are so powerful to connect with everything physically and energetically within this area of the body. You've got a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to go round to the back. So I'm going to turn around. This is womb and vitals, your bladder 48. So we're looking at the top of the buttock. So we're not going in the middle of the buttock, it's at the top. If you put your hands around the hips, it's pretty much where the thumb ends up. So if you just have the hands on your hips like this. It's where that thumb's pushing in. That's your bladder 48, so your womb and vitals. And this can be wonderful as well if you've got back pain. So rubbing into that point, close your eyes. Breathing slowly, breathing deeply, mindfully. And then when you're ready, taking a pause, taking a breath, and then we'll come up to our next point. And I suppose in a way the final point, I've got one extra one which is sort of like a bonus. And if you come up to the center of your chest, right at the center of your chest bone, the sternum here, in between, it's probably kind of in between the line of the nipples here. This is your center, your conception vessel 17. And so as we push into this point, this is wonderful for the emotions. You can close your eyes, middle finger can push into it. You might just start, you might begin to feel your heartbeat, notice your heartbeat. And it's quite relaxing simply to count your heartbeats, really connect with that beating of your heart. You might begin to circle the finger around, or you can just keep it still, you know, listen to what you feel works best for you. Full breaths in and slow breaths out. And when you're ready, you can release that point, just closing your eyes, taking a couple of deep breaths to check in with yourself. And you can open your eyes. So that's the sequence as a whole. I wanted to offer you one more point for anyone that suffers from really quite uncomfortable cramps. I know a lot of people do during their premenstrual phase. And so you have your large intestine 4. It's also really useful when you're giving birth. It can help with pains of early labour as well. There's quite a lot of, actually interestingly, studies done on this point of the body to show its effectiveness at relieving pain. So in between the web of the index finger and the thumb, towards sort of where they meet rather than right on the outside, you're going to put a fair amount of pressure and squeeze. Okay, and so this is a useful point for cramps or when you're having a baby in labour. And I just thought I'd share that with you as well. So let me know how you go. I hope you enjoy this sequence, and I'll see you tomorrow.